This is the Hoppy Tart Saison. It's been probably 3-4 weeks since I pitched everything into it. I'm going to take a pH reading on this, and I'm going to take a gravity reading. I did mention it in my original Brew Day video that I was concerned about this not being tart because there's a lot of hops in it. I think I'm around 20-30 IBUs in that range, and it's a guess. So I don't know. It could be even higher. It could be like 50 IBUs. So yeah, I'm just see if it got tart. I do see a pellicle forming, which is a good sign that something's happening with the lactobacillus. And I want to check a gravity reading because I'll probably let it go another month, and if the gravity's stable, I'll bottle it. So that's not very sour, or the pH isn't low, I should say. I really do think this is about as tart as it's gonna get. I just think it had a little too much hops in this. I'd probably lower the IBU a little bit more if I really want more lactic flavor to it, or just add the hops after it's soured. So a quick gravity reading on this. It is showing at 5.8% alcohol. Now, for those who haven't used a refractometer before or have never used it post-fermentation, you need to do a correction on it. There's a website that can correct this for you. It's called Brewer's Friend. Just go on there and find a refractometer calculator. You can adjust it for alcohol. So for example, this read at 1021, and correcting it using that little calculation, it read at 0.008, and it started at 1052. So yeah, it's 5.8%. So what I'm going to do then, it looks like I doubt it'll get much lower than this. So I'll probably wait about 2-3 weeks, maybe a month. And if it's the same gravity, I'm going to bottle it. I have my Hoppy Tart Saison here. I put the dry hops in on July 9th. It's July 22nd. So I'm a little late in bottling this. I did cold crash it for about 3 or 4 days, just to make sure that there was nothing in suspension there, or get down as much as I possibly can. I'm going to transfer it into this jug here, but what I'm going to do is purge it with CO2, because I don't want oxygen to get into this at all. I have hops in this, and hoppy beer can tend to get a little more oxidized than other beer. So I'm going to purge this with CO2. This will be like my bottling bucket, if you will, my bottling jug. I tend to purge things with CO2 or fill things up with CO2 at around 3-4 psi. You know, you don't need to blast it in there. You just want to get a blanket in there. So that's what I do. But yeah, I do about 30 seconds, maybe around there, maybe 45 seconds if I'm feeling crazy. Alright, I have the priming sugar chilling right now. I'm going to pour it in here. Should be good to go. A little overkill maybe, but why not? Gently stir the priming sugar in there. God, spilled some. I have a little extra. Well, I was going to take a pH reading, but what I was going to use for a pH reading is down here. Tart Hoppy Saison Tasting. It's about time. I brewed this on May 21st. It's currently July 30th, I think. It's only been 10 days in a bottle, which isn't that long really. But I think I was due to taste this because I really didn't want to have this go any longer, because the hops might fade on it, and it was long enough. I really just want to make sure that my gravity is stabilized before I bottle it. That was my main concern, because there's Brettanomyces in this and lactobacillus. They can work a little slower, especially Brettanomyces. It can take a while sometimes to really attenuate everything down, because if I were to bottle this early before it's stable, I could get bottle bombs out of it. So this was based off a recipe from Mike Tonsmeyer, the math fermentationist. He had 3 different sort of hoppy sours he did. I'll link the recipe below in the description so you can pull it up if you want to follow along. I'm not going to go into super detail on it because it's all set in there. It's a lot easier for everybody. So let's taste this puppy. Definitely carbonated. So the smell off the bat is really nice. I'm definitely getting some citrus in there. I know Sriracha Ace can bring a lot of citrus, lemon in particular. I'm definitely getting that. Really nice smell, actually. A little fruit. Definitely a little Brett, though. I'm picking up some Brett for sure. Wow, that's nice. I'm not getting hardly any tartness to this, which I figured. I figured a lactobacillus would just be annihilated on this. It's amazing. I mean, it tastes like a Brett IPA, to be honest. The Brett flavor is there. It's funky, but it's not barnyardy necessarily, but more like earthy and leathery is the kind of way I describe it. But in some way that like kind of dank too, earthy, leathery, and dank. But the hops, that little touch of citrus and fruit in there, kind of balance it out nicely. It works. You'd think that like fruit and sort of citrus wouldn't work with that leathery, earthy thing going on, but it really does. It tastes dank. I mean, it tastes like it's probably closer to like 75 IBUs. So I think it's very possible that I got a lot more IBUs out of the 20 I was assuming I would with my steep. Because I steep on a pretty low temperature. Because I steeped at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. I'd probably go lower next time for the steep. I'd probably go at like 120 degrees Fahrenheit to get a lot more of the flavor and lower the IBUs. It might be too late because there's already a lot of hop goop in this and stuff already. But if I watch this yeast, I'd be curious to try this with a very low hop beer or something in the 10 IBU range and just see if I can get lactobacillus to kind of awaken up a little bit. It's a good combo. The Saison strain, that 3711 I used, the Brett strain I used, which was a less funky one this time. I was using, what was I using? Brett, the Lambicus, the White Labs Lambicus. I think it's 653 is the number on it. And it was just too barnyardy. It was just like really harsh. And I was using also their Brett Bruck strain, the 650. And yeah, just wasn't, those combined especially was like, whoa. So I went with the WLP 648, which is a Bruxellensis Troy Vori. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's V silent. Brett Bruxellensis Troy Ray. Or would I say Bruxellensis Trois Var? I think the right thing to do would be to have a little more hop tolerant strain and maybe do the IBUs to like 15 in that range. And then maybe keep it slightly warmer at like 75 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe 80 at the most, to try and activate that lactobacillus a bit, because it does like it warm. So that's it. Really enjoyed this beer. Yeah, get out there and try things like this, I guess. And subscribe and like and comment. You know, all that stuff. I tend to comment back if you have any questions and all that stuff. And I don't know how to end these things. So cheers.